Hi guys, welcome back. I think in the end of that video I said it was part 3. This is actually part 4 now. And this is just in plucking the strings open at the moment. So we've covered the 2-finger approach, which is probably what I'm going to use for the majority of my videos on here. But I also want to cover a slightly alternative method. Now there's a whole load of different hybrid techniques that people use using thumbs, fingers, all 4 fingers and thumbs, you know, all sorts of stuff. I'm not going to go too deep into them because there's nothing that I really use, and people that have developed those techniques are much better placed to explain what they do with them. But something I have worked on is using 3 fingers instead of 2. Now this is, again, this is exactly the same technique in terms of each finger, how we play through the string and come to rest on the thumb or the string below. But with the 3 fingers, rather than 2 fingers alternating, what we'll be doing is a sort of wave motion like this. It's pretty weird when you start out playing. A lot of music is just based on a 4-beat pattern, so when you're using 3 fingers it does get you kind of mixed up with that. But there are some advantages to this method. Firstly, going back to where we mentioned economy of motion in the last video, when you use more fingers to play for any given speed, when you increase the number of fingers you're using, each finger has to be working slightly less. So when you get onto 3, each finger's barely moving for this given speed. That's one advantage. The other advantage is when you're playing very fast music, and especially music that's built around triplets or sort of a galloping feel. There's a lot in that sort of stuff in metal styles. Then trying to play really fast with 2 fingers, you could try it with 1 finger if you want to, but you know, best wishes with that. But when you're playing that kind of thing, when you have 3 fingers going, develop it, then it becomes a lot easier. Now obviously with 3 fingers you can't alternate because that's you know, there's more than 2 fingers to use, but it's worth trying out the different ways of mixing those up. Now me personally, I've used this on a few things, and sometimes when it is bass lines based around groups of 3 it can make kind of sense to use. My preferred method is start with the index finger and go index, middle, ring, and repeat that round. So again, working on the same technique of brushing through the string, coming to rest on the string below. What also helps with this method is the fluidity of playing, if you can get it smooth, is that where you're using 2 fingers, you've got 1 finger playing and the next finger is moving into position to play, so that's kind of quite smooth. With the 3 fingers, you've got that, but even more so. You've got 1 finger playing, the next finger ready to play, and the 3rd finger is then moving into position to play. So you get a kind of weird wave motion with the hand, but that takes a bit of getting used to. So that's my preferred way of playing with 3 fingers. So a lot of people that use this go from ring, middle, and index, so they go the other way. Now it doesn't feel quite as smooth to me, but you know, some people find that's really weird for me. But some people find that more fluid for them. There's a 3rd school of thought, which is almost alternating, so it'll be going index, middle, ring, middle, index, so going back and forth. Now personally I kind of feel that that's probably not the most efficient method, because the middle finger there is working just as hard as if you were just using 2 fingers. So I don't know, you may be able to get that up to speed and fluid, but I kind of feel that that's not gonna give you many advantages. But the 3-finger technique is something that I've played around with a lot. It's not something I use all the time, but it's so worth developing. And I've been playing I don't know, maybe 10 years just alternating 2-finger style before I even heard that this was a thing. Never occurred to me to try. So I was kind of fairly well established in my technique when I came to try it out, and it was really weird trying to integrate that 3rd finger. If you're just starting out playing, I would heartily recommend giving it a go. It may not feel natural at all, in which case, you know, don't worry about it, because the vast majority of people don't use it. But if you try it and it feels good, or it feels natural, then it can give you an advantage in that sort of fluidity you're playing. You know, potentially with speed and everything if you get used to it. It's just another technique to try. So hopefully, you know, if you practice however many fingers you want to use, plucking on the bass string, getting some sound out of it. It doesn't matter if it's noisy at the moment, but get used to that technique. And then in the next videos, we will cover the fretting hand. We'll see you again soon.